and welcome back to Adorabuild. Thank you so much for joining me. My name is Ruth and my little dog is called Pucky, and today I've got a little bit of a different video for you. So today it is completely my own creation, which is going to be looking at this beautiful cherry tree. So this tree doesn't come in any other sets. It was inspired by a video from 3 brick friends around how they build trees. I was looking on YouTube for ages and ages for a really fantastic Lego tree design, and I came across their video and absolutely fell in love with the technique. I've included a link to that video in the description box below and as well in the ID card above. The start of the build, I've just got an 8x16 green plate. I've also included a 4x4 green plate on top already. The reason why I did this is because I'm not entirely sure whether or not these base plates will actually be used once these cherry trees have been integrated into my Lego city. So obviously the 4x4 plate makes it a lot easier to transplant and transport the trees over to their final spot in the city once that occurs. The next step that we will need to make is to start building up the trunk. Now, as always, I don't really have much of a plan around what to do with the trunk. It is just a matter of selecting some pieces and going from there, really. Now I need one more piece, and then we can start to add in the branches. So how I have done the cherry tree branch, put 2 of the longer arches on either side, and then I have used 2 of the shorter arches for the front and the back. And I found that this actually created quite a nice shape to the cherry tree, so it's longer at the sides and actually shorter at the front and the back as well. And then the next step I did was actually to extend the branches out using the 1x4 plates, and so they actually get attached to each of the branches. I also use some of the sloped pieces in order to secure the branches on the front and the back. So you can see there that these ones get placed in here, and then the side branches go on one stud out with the slope to attach them securely. We can then also continue building up around the trunk so that they sit like that. And as you can see here is that I've actually staggered the branches so that we shouldn't have any of these pieces on the same studs as the pieces below. That just helps when we come to put the leaves in to create a much fuller tree. And then we have the basic skeleton shape of the tree. So there are a number of parts that are required for this. So for this particular build, you'll need one of these pieces, which actually sits on the top of the cherry tree here. And then you'll need a lot of these pieces. So 8 of these all together, 1 for each branch. You will also require these pieces with the clip, and you'll need one of these to clip onto each of those edges. Is that we also need some of the pink slope pieces as well, and I've got the 2 different colours here, so the dark magenta and also the pink as well. Obviously we also require the leaves, so the large leaves in magenta as well as the smaller leaves in both the magenta and the pink as well. So once you've got all of those parts, is that you get to clipping, and then we select a range of leaves and attach those. This means that then the leaf is actually securely attached for when we get to move and shape. So let's get some more leaves happening. So of course, the other thing to keep in mind when it comes to building your tree is just to try and create as much variance as possible. One of the things that I wanted to do with this cherry tree build was to ensure that there was a range of different colours as part of the foliage. Now we also need some more leaf pieces to attach to here, so we'll need to do another 8. So we've now got all our leaves that we require for this build. So obviously the next step is to attach the various leaves to the different branches. So how I go about doing that is using the curved pieces once again, and by attaching that and then clipping both of those things onto the branch. Again, the same thing at the back, and of course once again to the side. Now the other element that I found actually helps secure these builds is by adding in a 1x1 brick and then a 1x3 slope up here, because that actually helps attach this plate nice and securely. So there we go, you can start to see the cherry tree taking shape. So once again you can see here that the pieces of the cherry tree are actually offset and they sort of follow around. Now we get to attach the leaves and the branches on to the next tier, and this is a slightly different method. So we actually need a 1x4 plate. Again, come with your leaf piece that you've already created, attach that to the 1x4 plate, and then use the slope piece in order to secure that, and then also add a slope piece to the end, and then that set of leaves actually gets attached to the branches. And you can see here that the reason why we do that is to create a much more fuller look. So let's finish the rest of those off. And I actually told a fib earlier, and we do actually need to have another piece in between this plate and the trunk as well. Make sure that it is a 2x2 round piece so that all the clips will actually attach securely. So let's just get on and add those leaves in now. And so once all the leaves attached, is that it will look like that from the top. So now we just need to finish off the top of the cherry tree, because obviously that looks quite flat. So I will show you on this example first, and then we'll transfer that over to the final tree. So all I did was use a few of the magenta cone pieces, and what I did was attach one on one side and two on the other. I also used brown studs, and I did attach 2 brown studs to each other and tied them in to both sides. Then we attach a large leaf, another large leaf. I will use a small leaf here. I will attach a large leaf to the 2 cones. So you can see here that we've got 2 large leaves on the brown studs, a small leaf on the single cone, and then a large leaf attached in the center of the 2 cones. And then in order to finish it off, I've got another 2 brown studs attached to the center of that final cone, and then I attach another leaf to the center of that. So you can see there that that's how it sort of looks. So let's transfer those over to the top of the tree that we're building today. So now the plan is to fill out the cherry tree so it just looks a lot more lush and full like this one over here. The idea that I came up with in order to resolve that issue was to actually attach some more leaf pieces to the exposed black stud. So once again, I have 2 brown studs that I attach together, and then I also attach another large magenta leaf piece to that. And all I try and do, without causing too much damage, is attach the extra piece in here. So you can see the 2 studs there and the extra leaf. Now obviously these leaves can't be sloped and they do stick out horizontal, and so now it's just a matter of going around the cherry tree and adding each of those pieces in. Once again, I do actually attach the leaf sections in different ways in order to try and create that organic feel. And then I actually like to add in some more leaves So again, one of the things that I do try and do is make sure that the leaves are all actually still flowing downwards, because I do think that that sort of helps create that more realistic look. So obviously the final step for the cherry trees for today is actually now just adding in the flowers. So of course with the older style flowers, you just add them to the bottom of the leaves, and then with the newer style flowers is you can just add them on the tops. And usually I just add on the pale pink studs last to actually sort of see where that fits in the most. I quite like to make sure that there is flowers on most of the lower branches, and then just to match up the different pink colours throughout the upper branches as well. So here's the finished version that we've built today. It's really great because now I have 3 cherry trees which are going to look absolutely fantastic placed in my city and almost create a gorgeous cherry tree lane area. As always, I'd really like to hear from you, so please comment below if you've got any questions about my build. If you've enjoyed watching my video, please give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate the likes. It would be also fantastic if you could subscribe and turn on the notification bell as well. That way I know that you're interested in seeing more content like this and I can continue creating more videos for you. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye. Oops. Be careful. Think the oh gosh. No, this is going to be the